Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't already know me, my name is Yasmeen and I am 17. I am 18 years old. Okay, so as you guys can tell from the title of this video, today's video is gonna be all about the 40 things you should know before moving to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or just the UAE in general. So if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you would already know that I have lived in the United Arab Emirates literally my entire life. I don't live there now. I've lived here for 16 out of my 18 years of living, so I can say I'm quite an expert. So basically, since 40 things is quite a lot, I'm going to be splitting this video into two videos. So today's video is part 1 and next week's video is part 2. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Okay, but anyways, if you guys are looking for more videos like these, advice related videos, college related videos, traveling, moving, vlogging, cooking, health and fitness, literally anything, you will find it on this channel. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification button down below to get notified every single time I make a post. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So number 1, if you want to live here, you need to have a sponsor. So basically, if you want to live here, you're gonna need an entry permit and a resident visa, and one of the requirements is to have a sponsor. So if you're coming here for work, your employer would be your sponsor. But if you have a child, then your employer would sponsor you and you would sponsor your child. Or for example, if you have a spouse who doesn't work, then you can sponsor your spouse. Number 2, if you are an expat, you cannot retire here. So basically, like I said, you're gonna need a sponsor, and if, let's say, you and your spouse decide not to work anymore, or you decide to retire, you technically cannot retire here because you're not gonna have anyone to sponsor you. And I mean this in the sense, like, I'm talking about this like on a technicality. So for an example, if there is a family member who works, they can sponsor you, but again, I'm speaking on a technicality. So technically, if it's like just you living here and you want to retire here and you're an expat, you can't do that. Number 3, rent here is insanely high. So basically, this kind of differs from city to city, which is why I didn't want to make this video like too specific to one city. But I would say overall, Abu Dhabi's accommodation is much more expensive than Dubai's accommodation, but Dubai lifestyle is much more expensive than Abu Dhabi lifestyle. So I feel like it does balance out. And I think something that definitely plays a role is the fact that Abu Dhabi is like more family styled, Dubai is like more single, entrepreneurial, I don't know what, you know, type of thing. So I feel like it just kind of makes sense that it's that way. But anyways, speaking of accommodation and living and renting and whatever, this brings me to number 4. If you are an expat, you cannot purchase land or purchase real estate, let's say. Okay, personally, in my opinion, I would say this is somewhat of a disadvantage because, like I said, rent here is really high. So like if you're looking at living here for an extended period of time, I feel like it's a disadvantage when you have to like put down a lot of money for a piece of property, and then once you leave, it's not even yours, you know. Like it's just kind of like if you live here for 40 years, you're just gonna keep paying and paying and paying for something, and it's not yours in the end of the day. So I don't know, like I would definitely see that as a disadvantage. Yeah, but I just think it's something that you would need to take into consideration before choosing to move here. Okay, since I've spoken about expats quite a lot, this brings me to number 5. 85 to 88% of the population are expats. People get so surprised when I say this, but like even I was surprised the first time I read this because that's like pretty much a really big portion of the population. But the thing is, like, a lot of people don't know how really diverse the UAE is. Like, there's about 200 nationalities here, so that's quite a lot. I would definitely say I think Dubai is more diverse than Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi I feel like is more diverse in terms of Arabs, you know. I mean, there definitely is people from like Ireland or America or like Africa, like literally from everywhere, but I just feel like there's a bigger Arab population here, and it's like really diverse in terms of Arabs. But like, yeah, even in school, I remember like all of my teachers were from everywhere, you know, like anyone who pretty much works anywhere is from around the globe. Okay, so this brings me to my next point. Number 6. Literally everyone, and I mean Everyone here speaks English. I can confidently say that 99.99% of the population here speaks English. And I'm not saying that everyone is so fluent, but I'm saying that they will understand you to a certain extent. Like, everyone speaks English to a certain extent, you know? Like, again, this brings me back to number 5. Since 85 to 88% of the population are expats, obviously there's going to be like a universal language that everyone needs to be speaking, which is English. Okay, so this brings me to number 7. You don't have to learn Arabic, but you definitely will pick it up. The thing is, I feel like it's quite funny because the Arabic language is actually really hard. Like, I'm Arab and I'm not really that fluent because I don't know, I just find it really hard, but it's so easy to pick it up. And I think because all the Arabs here, like, everyone is bilingual, like minimum we speak 2 languages, which is Arabic and English typically. So the thing is, subconsciously we tend to mix like both languages in a sentence. So let's say if I'm speaking in English and I throw in a couple of Arabic words, even though you don't know what those words mean, you will understand what I'm saying. So like, you will sometimes like just pick it up, you know? Even if I say a sentence fully in Arabic to my non-Arab friends, they'll like fully understand what I'm saying. Okay, but speaking of speaking Arabic, this brings me to number 8. If you're enrolled in school, it is mandatory for you to take Arabic classes. But like, obviously if you're a non-Arab, then there are special Arabic classes, which is just Arabic for non-Arabs. It's actually kind of funny because half of these classes were just Arabs who barely spoke Arabic and had like a foreign passport, so they were allowed to take these classes. Moi. But yeah, speaking of school, this brings me to number 9. You cannot attend public school here unless you are an Emirati. So I know this is gonna sound so stupid, but I didn't know public schools here existed. I just thought it was like a foreign thing, like something outside the UAE, but like apparently we do have them, but they're just for the locals. So yeah, everyone here attends private school. Like, private school is the norm, and I feel like online, like on the internet and in TV shows and whatever, they make it seem like, oh my god, like private school, like whoa, and it's just like, no, like it's so chill. Like, it's really not like that, in my opinion. Personally, that's how I see it. But yeah, anyways, if you are like planning on raising kids here or something, that is something you're gonna be needing to take into consideration. Okay, so next is number 10, and this one is quite obvious, but I'm gonna say it because it really needs emphasis, and that is, you need to prepare for the heat. And when I say heat, I mean heat and humidity. It is so humid, and I feel like heat is one thing, okay, it's hot, but the humidity is a completely other thing. Like, literally in summer when it's really hot, you'll step outside and you'll instantly become sticky. If you're wearing glasses, they'll fog up, your phone will fog up. Like, it's just like bleh, you know, it's so gross. Like, from my entire history of living here, the hottest it's ever been was like 52 degrees Celsius in summer, and it's actually, guys, it's actually insane. Like, no matter how long you've lived here, you'll never be able to adapt to like that level of heat, you know? I mean, you definitely will be able to adapt to higher levels of heat, but like not to that extent. But yeah, guys, it actually gets so hot that there's a rule as to when construction workers are allowed to work outside, because like at some point it just becomes unsafe, you know? So yeah, I mean, that's just something you really need to prepare for. I feel like a plus side to this is that there's literally air conditioning every single place you go. I remember when I moved to Montreal, I found it so weird how there was no air conditioning in like some apartments, and or there's like no air conditioning at uni, like in the lecture halls and stuff. I was just like, what? Like, how are you gonna put 600 students in like one lecture hall and like not have air conditioning? But apparently it's like normal because it's like always cold there. But yeah, anyways, it is not just air conditioning that you have everywhere you go, it is Wi-Fi that you have everywhere you go. Which brings me to number 11. Abu Dhabi taxis have Wi-Fi. I feel like this is just some random fun fact. I remember when me and my friends were in Dubai, and then we were taking a cab, obviously, to get from place to place, and then we were asking the cab driver, we're like, oh, like, is there Wi-Fi, like, can we connect? And he was just like, huh, like, why would there be Wi-Fi, you know? And then we were just like flexing, we're like, yeah, in Abu Dhabi our taxis have Wi-Fi and whatever. Okay, but speaking of taxis, this brings me to number 12. Everyone Ubers, but here taxis are the norm. So I feel like this applies more to Abu Dhabi. Like, in Abu Dhabi, taxi is just so cheap. So I mean, you just cab everywhere you go. But in Dubai, they have like their own version of Uber, which is called Careem. And like, we also have in Abu Dhabi, but no one really uses it, you know? Like, we just cab everywhere we go. Yeah, but everyone uses Careem in Dubai because like cabs there are significantly more expensive than cabs here. So it just kind of makes more sense that way. But speaking of public transportation, this brings me to number 13. Dubai actually has a really good public transport system, and what I'm talking about is the metro. So the thing about Dubai is that it's actually like, if you don't have a car, it's quite costly to want to get from place to place, because Dubai is really big, obviously, number one. Number two, it is expensive, so you just want a cab or like Uber everywhere. I mean, you're just throwing all your money away. But Dubai does have a metro system, and I love their metro system. It's like above ground, you literally get everywhere in seconds. Like, it's so quick, it's so convenient. I remember getting on that metro, I think was like the first time I've ever been on a metro, and I was like, wow, like you can get everywhere for like 1 dirham, you know, like I was so fascinated. Okay, so my next point is number 14. Some of you might already know this, but the UAE loves to have the biggest and the tallest and the fastest and the most extravagant everything. And I feel like it's so fun, especially when like someone's coming to visit you and they've never been to the country before, and you're just like, let me take you places, you know, like let me entertain you. Like, just to mention a few things, we have fastest roller coaster in the world, Ferrari World, tallest building in the world, Burj Khalifa, best and biggest fountain show in the world, which is in front of Burj Khalifa. We have biggest mosque in the world. We have biggest theme park in the world, IMG. There's just so many things. We even have the tallest flagpole in the world, which is so random, but I mean, it's there. Biggest mall in the world, Dubai Mall. I feel like it's so fun to live in a place that's such a tourist hotspot, because I mean, when it is, they constantly want to keep it up to date. Like, it's so modern, it's so fun, there's always something new. Or like when something is like the biggest in the world or the best in the world, and you're just like, I can drive 5 minutes and get there, you know? Like, it's fun, it's nice, it's like, it keeps you on your feet. There's always like something new to do. Okay, so next point, number 15. The UAE is a Muslim country, so it is under Sharia law. Next, number 16. Our weekends are Fridays and Saturdays, not Saturdays and Sundays. And this relates to number 15, but basically, let me just like explain this. But basically, in Islam, there's the Friday prayer, and it's usually around noon. So obviously Friday would need to be off. So that's why our weekends are Fridays and Saturdays, not Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, but speaking of Islam and religion, this brings me to number 17. Regardless of your religion, you are going to need to prepare for the month of Ramadan. So if you guys don't know what that is, it is the holy month in Islam where Muslims are fasting from dawn to dusk. And by fasting, I mean they're abstaining from food and water. So the thing is, since it is a Muslim country, a big majority of the population is Muslim. So I mean, out of respect, you wouldn't really like eat and drink in public during the day while people are fasting. Like, some places would be closed throughout the day, but if you do want to, like, for example, eat out at a restaurant and stuff, you still can do that. But some places will like have curtains to cover the like windows and stuff, because like, out of respect for the other people, like, you just don't eat in their face, you know? And the thing is, the reason that I'm saying this is because there's actually a rule here, and you can get in a lot of trouble if you do like eat and drink in public while people are fasting. Like, some people just get offended, you know, type of thing. So the reason that I'm saying this is like, even if you're a tourist and you're just coming here for vacation, make sure you like just do a bit of research about it. Like, just do a bit of research on when it's coming, like when the holy month is coming, because it does change every year. So just to make sure you're like avoiding any possible situation where you could get in trouble, even if it's like an innocent mistake, because like sometimes you just don't know, you know? But I mean, it's just better to do your research just so you do know and avoid like any type of situation like that. But a lot of people that like come here for the first time like don't know anything about like Ramadan, and like they don't like know what it's like. And honestly, in my opinion, I feel like no other country has Ramadan vibes like the UAE does. Like, it's so nice. Like, it's so nice to be in a place where everyone, like almost everyone, is like fasting just like you. Everyone's like at the dinner table when you're breaking your fast with your family, with your friends. Like, it's just such a family oriented, loving, forgiving month, because it is the month of forgiveness. Like, I don't know, like Ramadan vibes are just amazing. Like a lot of people who like obviously are non-Muslim and they like don't fast, they love Ramadan because it's just, I don't know, it just has really nice vibes and it's just really nice here. Okay, speaking of fasting and eating, this brings me to food, which brings me to number 18. The quality of food here is the best, for real. Like, you know, like no matter how much I love the food from abroad and whatever, I don't know, whenever I leave and I come back, I'm just like, the quality of food here really differs. Like, I don't know, it just feels really fresh and clean. I'm definitely talking about like meat more than I'm talking about produce, but I don't know, that's my opinion. I just feel like the quality of like meat here is really like clean and fresh. Okay, so speaking of food, this brings me to restaurants, which brings me to number 19. Tipping is welcomed, but it is not compulsory. And like personally, I think like everyone should tip, but the reason that I'm saying this is because like in a lot of countries, what I didn't know is it's actually compulsory. Like when I moved to Montreal, it's like a norm, like you have to tip between 15 and 20%, you know, like I mean obviously I'm gonna tip anyway, but I didn't know it was like between 15 and 20%. But yeah, I mean again, like I obviously like think everyone should tip, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. Okay, so my last point for today, number 20. Literally everything is done for you. Like I don't know how to explain this, but everything is done for you. Like a lot of people, they go like, oh, you people who grew up in like the Gulf countries, you're so spoiled, like you never do anything for yourself. And I'm just like, no, we're not spoiled, we're pampered. There's a difference. I feel like though it makes sense because life here is just so busy. Like you're just constantly working, like taking care of things. I mean, okay, I wasn't working, I was a student, so I was chilling. All I had to do was study, you know. But like if you are an employee, or if you are a mom, or if you are like whatever you are, like your life here is so busy. And I feel like it's just so convenient when like everything is done for you. There's like literally an app for everything. Every single thing is delivered to your door. So like let's say for an example, the convenience store, you know, like obviously if you want to get something, you go downstairs and you get something. But like even here, like you'll call the guy, you'll be like, hey listen, like can you just bring it up, you know? Or like even something else that's so simple, like if you're at a shopping mall and you're at like Zara for an example, like let's say you're in the changing room and like you have like all your clothes and whatever. When you're done, like someone is gonna like come pick up after you. Like someone is gonna like come fold them, put them back. Or like if you're in the change room and then like someone will come to you like, do you need a different size? Like let me help you out, let me like pick out some things for you. Like they just make it so easy for you. And I remember finding it so weird how like when I went abroad and then like I'd be in the changing room and then when I'd leave, the employee would be like, where are the clothes? And I'm like, oh, like they're in there. And then she's like, no, you have to fold them, you have to fold them and you have to hang them and you have to put them back. And I was like, oh. Or like something else that's like so random, if you're at McDonald's and it's not really that busy and you like place your order, they'll be like don't worry, like don't wait, like we'll bring it to you, you know, like go sit, go relax, like we'll bring everything to. And I'm just like, what? Like why would you even do that? Like I mean it's just a fast food restaurant, like you go, you pick up your things and you leave. But I don't know, they want to give you that extra little something, they want to give you that like extra service. Like everything is just done for you. And I feel like even like I just can't explain it. Like even with these little examples, like I can't explain it how it really is different. It's only like you'll only feel it once you are here and then you leave. But yeah, I'm definitely like not saying that one way is right and one way is wrong. It's just, I mean, it is what it is, you know, it's just different. Okay guys, so that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed making it. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. And don't forget to stay tuned for next week's video, which is the part 2 of the 40 things you should know before moving to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or just the UAE in general. And as always, if there's any type of video you guys ever want me to make sure you put it down in the comment section below or DM me and I am more than happy to do it. I'll see you guys next week.